14 Henrietta Street is a house in the northern city of Dublin, but it brings you on an incredible journey from the kind of grandeur of the 18th century, when a single family lived here, to a very different reality. Dublin in the early 20th century, a city that was defined really by tenements, poverty, and great hardship. So in a sense, the entire story of Dublin is within these walls.
In order to make the museum at Henrietta Street, there was a conservation and heritage policy of the City Council that allowed for the restoration of this building into this museum. And with the conservation approach, which is kind of trying to do as little as possible but as much as needed, it was possible to restore this beautiful building into the social history museum that it is at the moment. It's really important for us that former residents and a huge cross-sectoral group of professionals and experts are involved in the running of the museum, not only now, but also in the development of the building into a museum. So over the past 5 years, there's been different makeups of advisor groups that have all included experts, former residents, and people who are involved in their local community.
50% of our collection is made up of the building itself, so that's the bricks and mortar, the doors, the windows. The building is a primary artefact in our collection. 25% of the collection is the memories and stories and voices connected to this building. And if the building is at the core of what we do, these are very much the heart and soul of the narrative here. 20% of our collection are the objects that you see on display here when you visit the building. 5% of our collection is the artistic responses that you see on the tour. They're about adding to the narrative and continuing the story of this building. There's a fifth element to our collection, and that is our engagement.
I think any good museum has to have a dialogue going on with the people around it. And from the beginning, 14 Henrietta Street has really prioritised getting the stories of the people. Historical archives will tell you everything about the state, about politicians, about architects, but what historical archives generally don't give you is the lived experiences of ordinary people. So it's been really, really exciting to work with this museum in trying to gather the stories, not only of those who lived in this very building, but people who lived in buildings like this one, and to put the stories of ordinary people centre stage.
I got involved in the revival of the house through the reminiscent groups and sessions, and we just reminisced and told our stories, and people would say things that would, reignite your memory, where, oh, I forgot about that, or I remember this and I remember that. They really, really, really did their research, spoke to people. They just didn't decide this is the way it's going to be. They actually listened to everybody that lived it. This is so, to me, it's live.
You can come in and you can do a tour, but you can also share a memory that you have or a family history, something that you want to tell us, and we can share that again. You might remember a particular song, and it might be a song that you've remembered and you've talked about, and then you come and visit us again and we're singing your song.
When we gather stories, it's really important that we respond with our programming to those stories and the lives that we hear more about. So in addition to adding constantly to the content of the tour, we also run other programs that are about collecting more memories and telling more stories. And this kind of responsive programming is really essential to our audience engagement in the way that we run our museum. It is this continuous cycle running over and over again that keeps people at the centre of what we do.
It's hard to believe a young fella that ran around these streets in his bare feet, the respect I've been shown by everybody that works in this house. I was actually born in this room here. Yeah, so I advised him in lots of little ways. A piece of furniture, or how is this house situated? Bathroom, toilet facilities, all that sort of thing. And that has become really, really like home again to me. Because if I want to hear my mother and father and my brothers and sisters, this is where I come. I've always come, that's why I come to this street, that's why I come to the house, because I can hear their voices. I feel so humbled I was allowed to be part of what's happening here today, I really am. Just very great.